Hey guys, welcome back to today's live. Now I apologize because I said I was going to go live yesterday, but if you saw my post, it was my dad's anniversary. It's 20 years since he passed away. Unfortunately, he was 47 years old. I was 15. He used to have migraines. He was in a highly stressful situation with his job, pushing and pushing and pushing as a high performer, and went in the hospital, had a stroke and passed away. Healthy to passing away within a week. If you want to know more about the story, about my journey, then feel free to drop me a message because I've got a chapter called about finding your why in my book. And I'll happily just send that chapter over to you or send you a digital copy of the book if you want to read through it. But today, and what I said I was going to talk about yesterday, was sleep. And I actually see this going on over and over again, multiple times when I speak to people. And that is that they cannot get a good night's sleep. They wake up feeling groggy. They wake up and they're tired, fatigued throughout the day. They go to sleep and then an hour later they're waking up, and then a couple of hours later they're waking up. Now, there are so many different things that could be going on throughout their body. But I get this certain frustration that I know myself years ago. In my mid-20s, I was struggling with a similar thing. I was struggling with sleep. And the doctor gave me Zopiclone, which is a medication, quite a strong sleeping tablet, which if you've ever taken it, you take it and you don't still feel refreshed. You're just knocked out and you have a metallic taste in your mouth the next day. And he said, take this every day for 2 weeks to help you get to sleep. And I've heard it over and over again when I've spoke to new clients that their medical professional, their medical advisor, their GP, their doctor has just prescribed them medication, when what is actually going on is a lot deeper than that. And that is one of my big frustrations with the whole Western medicine side of things, is that there was a picture actually I shared on Instagram today, and we were talking about saying about you've got a problem which is caused by your lifestyle. And then someone replied saying, should I change my lifestyle? The doctor replied, said, no, here's a pill. And it is simply that we don't look at the underlying causes of what is actually going on, that we would rather take a pill for it. Now, when I work with clients, I'm not actually a personal trainer. I was a personal trainer. I'm still qualified as a personal trainer. And my goal when I look at getting clients in great shape is to get them to the place where we can work on their training. And I have clients that I just work on training because we've built those foundations of health. But when clients usually come to me, most of them are actually in a state where they're overtraining before they even go to a gym. What I mean is they are stressed out to the point where if we actually put a hard training session in front of them, their body wouldn't like it. It would fall off and it would get to the point where it would just not be able to recover. And a lot of the things going on in their body would get worse. So if you're one of these people that you suffer from fatigue syndrome, sleep apnea, you suffer from thyroid problems, you suffer from other autoimmune conditions and any chronic diseases, then you're probably going to have troubles. Well, obviously, if you've got sleep apnea, you're going to have troubles with your sleep. And you're going to be one of these people that you just have up and down fluctuations in energy. And what I see is that so many times people think that it is normal to wake up during the night to go to the toilet. Or they think that it's just because they drank a lot of water before bed. If you take in like 2 liters of water before bed, then yeah, like chances are you're going to be waking up during the night. But most of the time it is down to how stressed their body is under. And it is down to their blood glucose management. So people end up having a drop in blood glucose. They become reactive hypoglycemic, have a drop in their blood glucose. What happens is your cortisol, your stress hormone, gets released and gets increased, because one of the jobs of cortisol is to spike your blood sugar levels in order to give your brain sugar to be fueled and not literally switch off. So push in blood sugar levels with glucose going higher. And that is actually what happens in the morning when you wake up. So when this happens during the night, actually because of poor blood glucose management, that is going to send your body into a state where it has to wake up. And many people have this happen over and over again, so much to the point that it is common, but people see it as normal. Just because something is common does not make it normal. And that is one of the things which I work on with clients way before we dive into the exercises. If they are not getting a good night's sleep, if they are not getting to the point where they can have their head hit the pillow and then wake up 7, 8, 9 hours later feeling rejuvenated, we have to look at the reasons why this is going on. And one of the things that happens is that we don't prepare correctly from the moment we wake up in order to get a good night's sleep. We wake up in a reactive state and we look at these lifestyle factors, the stress going on in our lives and all these different things. We wake up in a reactive state, scroll them through Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, whatever social media feed it is. We scroll through. Now, tell me how you honestly feel when you're scrolling through Facebook. Chances are you're looking for that adrenaline rush, that dopamine hit, that push, that buzz, and you're probably in a reactive state. You see someone that's commented a negative thing, or you see something bad that's come up in the news, and chances are you react to it. It's not a healthy way to start the day. Then another thing we do is we reach for that coffee. Rather than waking up naturally, we reach for that coffee, that caffeine hit, and then end up that we're just overloading and overtaxing the adrenals. There's this joke that coffee makes us poop. Yeah, it's stimulating your gut, your digestive system, to the point where it's unnaturally making you go to the toilet. I say it over and over, I take a lot of the science out of it, because let's look at the outcomes rather than going through big words and big chemical breakdowns and all this stuff. That it is overworking your digestive system to the point it needs to get rid of things quicker, which could be a good thing. If you're one of these people that don't go to the toilet for like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and unfortunately I see that happening more in ladies. And I've actually heard female friends say about, oh yeah, I only go to the toilet every 2-3 days. I don't need much toilet paper, all that sort of stuff. But that is not a good thing, because if we're not able to get rid of the toxins in our body, they're just going to get reabsorbed. And it's going to lead to problems further down the line, even things like colon cancer and stuff like that. Just these nutrients that, or this waste that is stuck in our colon, ready to be excreted, that doesn't get excreted, basically just gets absorbed back into the bloodstream. Can you imagine that? All that waste is then going back into your bloodstream. It's not a very good thing for people to have happen. Another thing that happens when we are highly stressed, when we are not getting a good night's sleep, because sleep is for rejuvenation, for cellular rejuvenation, for allowing your body to recover and get those cells healthy, ready to take on the next day, is that a lot of people then get low stomach acid, low hydrochloric acid, and get reflux. Now, one of the things that happens that I see over and over again is when you speak to doctors about reflux, they talk about, well, that's because you've got high stomach acid. No, it's not. Most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, when someone has reflux, they have acid reflux, and they go to the doctors, they will prescribe them for something like lansoprazole to lower their stomach acid. But usually what it is their body has been so stressed for one reason or another. Maybe it's because they aren't getting through the sleep. They then end up not being able to break down the foods because they haven't got the enzymes in their stomach or enough acid in their stomach to break down the foods. And they're just wasted food left rotting in the stomach, as gross as that sounds, that then gas comes up and there's just waste that comes up. We also get our esophageal sphincter, the little window, the little door to the stomach, which gets inflamed. And that is something we need to look into as well, because if we're having low stomach acid, and that's the reason for our reflux, and a doctor is prescribing lansoprazole or other drugs in order to lower your stomach acid, that is going to make things worse. Rather than looking at the lifestyle factors as to why was that stomach acid, well, they're saying high, but why was that stomach acid actually low in the first place? What is the thing that's stressing you out? What is the thing we need to look at with your lifestyle? And unfortunately, many people will just go for the thing which is quick and easy, rather than the thing that involves a little bit of effort for a longer period of time and will get them results. Most people will go for that and go for that pill that will give them that short-term relief, rather than fixing the underlying cause. I don't see the logic in that. And I'm sure that if you're watching this video and you listen back to that, You don't see the logic in that, but I know I've done it in the past, and I'm sure you've done it in the past. So why do we do that as a human being? We look for that quick fix rather when we know that we're going to have to go for it over and over again. We're going to have to then find out what the underlying cause is and sort that, unless we like the attention that being sick brings. We look at the morning routine when it comes to sleep. We also have to look at the evening routine. So many people are on their phones late. So many people are on screens late. So many people are scrolling through social media or watching the news, watching a scary film or something like this, because that's just what people do. Now, I've seen many people post, I am not a morning person. I'm an evening person. It doesn't matter when we get our sleep. It doesn't matter when we wake up. It does. The body is designed. I don't know who designed the body. Let's just say the body is designed to wake and sleep with regard to the daily cycles of your circadian rhythm, with the sun rising and sun falling. So if you're not waking up till like 11 a.m., 12 noon, then you're sleeping at like 4 or 5 a.m. Already, I would say that your body is not going to be in the healthiest state that it can be. And that is just the truth. We can try and convince ourselves that it's not that sort of, we're a night owl and all this sort of stuff, but that is the actual truth, that our body is designed, it's a brainy thing, and that if we actually brought our daytime to the actual daytime, you would get more done and be more successful. But it does involve a bit more work to get it from that nighttime to bring it forward to daytime. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have more focus. You're going to get more done. You're going to sleep better, and you're going to be overall healthier, not having to rely on caffeine and all that sort of stuff. So I would truly ask yourself, with your morning routine and your evening routine, is there anything better you can do in order to improve your sleep? Because if you're not sleeping through the night, I'm pretty certain there is something you can do. One of those things is checking when you have caffeine. If you are having caffeine and it's got a half-life of 5-6 hours, and you're having a glass of coffee at or a cup of coffee at like 4 p.m., it's the equivalent of having like half a cup 5-6 hours later at like 9-10 p.m. Would you really do that and then expect to get to sleep an hour later? Probably not. So look into what are you actually having, and is it something you really want more than actually sleeping through the night? And then that goes to food. What are we doing with our food? I've mentioned about managing your blood glucose levels. When I work with clients, blood glucose levels is a big thing we focus on. I've had people simply manage their blood glucose levels that have had full-blown sleep apnea, actually get off any medication, not have to have the machine around their face. They've literally been able to sort it within a couple of months purely by managing their blood glucose levels. Now, some cases are a little bit more intricate than that, but it's going to help you a lot. If you can manage your blood glucose levels, your sleep will improve a hell of a lot more. Now, one of the problems we encounter when it comes to foods is that we have undiagnosed food intolerances and allergies. Now, when we have these and we're undiagnosed and we have this food that we're reactive to, you're going to see certain signs like changing your heart rate, or there'll be other symptoms as well. So if you look deeper, you can see what is actually going on. When we have these foods, your body gets an adrenaline rush. So trying to cut these foods out, you end up getting real big cravings for them. Now, these foods aren't really doing your body that good, but it's a mixed message that says, I really want more of these foods. And it's getting this adrenaline rush more and more. So can you imagine if we have these undiagnosed food intolerances and then have this food literally later in the evening or for dinner at like 6-7 p.m., that adrenaline rush is then going to eat into our ability to actually sleep. And that's something we need to look into as well. So when I look at with clients, as we go through some of the basics of getting a good routine down, having a look at what they're eating, doing some blood glucose testing, looking at hydration, and we look to build that consistency up. Another thing we look at is that when we wake up in the morning and we want to manage blood glucose, if you are, for example, reactive hypoglycemic, and you're one of these people that you feel sick when you eat in the morning, chances are you're going to need to eat in the morning to get through that and to help your blood glucose management. Chances are if you feel sick, like the thought of food in the morning chances are you're also going to have some sleep problems. Chances are there's also going to be dips in energy. Chances are there's also going to be other health conditions going on. So that is usually linked to reactive hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia if you just have flat out low blood glucose levels, and we need to do some work on that. On the other hand, a lot of people now are insulin resistant. So basically, we've annihilated our pancreas to release insulin to the point where it just doesn't know how much it needs to release, and it's not really doing the job that it needs to do. So therefore, we have high blood glucose levels, and we can't get them down. We can't then pull them into the system. The insulin can't actually get the glucose into the cells where it's actually going to do its job. And as a result, we end up like we're actually better when we fast in the morning. But a lot of people, if we don't look deeper into these things, are you hyperglycemic or are you insulin resistant? What is going on via testing? And you go and do intermittent fasting or something, you could actually do your body more damage, more harm than good. We have to tailor this to a specific person as an individual. And it's something we really, really need to look at and look deeper into. I've just had fish and now I'm really thirsty. So apologies to keep drinking on here. Another thing we can look at, as I've said before, is training too hard. I've been the worst case for this before in the past, that I trained too hard every single day, pushed myself when I competed in bodybuilding. Not all training is going to be good training. Now I use an Oura ring. I've got my Apple Watch here as well. And I look at my heart rate variability. Now that is going to show what the stress the body is under. So I had a harder training session on Sunday and also had my niece and nephew around Sunday afternoon, and my heart rate variability literally halved. So I had a rest day on Monday and I was due to train that day previously. Full disclosure, the previous Ollie would not have actually had a rest day, but I just done a little bit of light cardio work rather than doing my weight training, because the 5-year-old and 2-year-old mixed with a hard training session just pushed my body beyond where I needed to be. Then the next day, giving it that recovery, my heart rate variability was up. So if you have the ability using an Oura ring, a Fitbit, an Apple Watch, check your HRV. Now what this is your heart will beat, like I would say, like as I'm a musician, like we have a metronome, the click. That's my metronome. But your heart beats, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And people think it beats on beat. Imagine a track that's been made completely on the computer. You've dragged and dropped every note specifically on time. That's not natural. Now, when you get a drummer, they'll have a natural swing when they're drumming. Or a guitarist, a keyboardist, like a pianist, they'll literally have a natural swing. And that's what your heart should be doing. It has a small variation between each beat, which differs all the time. And the more variation we have, the less stress you are under. The least, the lower. So we want it to be over 60 on your HRV. So test it. Check on your Apple Watch. Download an app called Welltree. If you don't have these, you can just take a reading on with your finger and your camera and then see if that's above 60. Do these things, and I guarantee that what will happen is you will start sleeping better. You'll be less stressed. You'll be able to handle more throughout the day. Now, once we manage all that, weight loss, it's a breeze. It is going to be so easy to lose weight if that's what you want to do. You're going to be earning more money. You're going to be feeling more energetic, much more focused, less brain fog, and all these things that go on. And I guarantee if you are suffering from some health problems, these things will probably go away. Guarantee they will probably go away. I'm pretty certain they will be going away, or at least just allow you to function much better by doing these things. Another thing we need to look at is that some of the like overnight fixes and stuff sound too good to be true. Or when we ask for advice on Facebook and we get 20 different opinions based on a study of n=1, some of these might work. They might work, but chances are go to a licensed professional, someone that knows this stuff and does this stuff day in, day out, and speak to them. Because those overnight fixes that sound too good to be true, but simply put in the work, do some work. You heard the story about my dad yesterday. He was too late to do something about his health. The stress eventually killed him. Now, I don't care if it's with me. Like, honestly, if you want to chat with me, drop me a message and let's talk further about your health and how we can improve it and help you, allow you to have better relationships, much better confidence, better results in your business, and be around for your kids. If it's not with me, still do it and find someone that you resonate with that will allow you to actually put in the work and do it. If you want to chat further, drop me a message or send me an email, ollie@ojhealth.com, and we can actually book in a time just to have a quick chat and see what we can do to help you out now.